Toontown Rewritten's ToonFest 2019 main event has just wrapped up, and the ideas, concepts, and development plans were shared that we are all interested in. Now let me just say, before going into too much detail on each item shared in today's panel, I want to express to you to not overly expect a ton of content. Most of the things shared at the ToonFest 2019 panel were mainly ideas, concepts, prototypes, and plans for the development of field offices, the rewards it'll give, and a few other various things that they tacked on as well. So, the panel begins with an introduction of what Toontown is for the people who have not played before, and they show off a new trailer.
Ever wondered what it would be like to live life as a toon? Imagine creating your own animated character, exploring the ever-changing world of toons, causing classic cartoon mischief. And that's only the beginning. If you're wondering what it's truly like to live life in Toontown, well, here's your chance. Now it's not all seltzer and slapstick in Toontown. A band of corporate robo-cogs are trying to mess up all of the fun. How typical of someone in a suit. It's up to you and your friends to band together and take back Toontown. How do we defeat them, you say? I'm glad you asked.
After this wrapped up, they then went into detail about the brand art, showing differences in development as they rounded out their brand style, and culminating in displaying the new TTR poster for ToonFest 2019, displaying the first moment the SLLY meter maxed. They then began to talk about Crash Cashbot, its development, and how it came to be. It's a somewhat insightful look at how development came to be for Crash Cashbot, from early development to expanding upon that early development, early model concepts to finished products, and topping it all off with a bit of fun when they showed off an early error-filled rendering of their Crash Cashbot trailer sequence from importing it to Blender. Joey then begins talking about the updates that they have released in 2018 and 2019, including the Options Update, SLLY Meter, and Crash Cashbot. After discussing this for a brief amount of time, he mentions that they didn't have quite enough time to set up the slide a certain way, but he described it as there being clouds on the screen, and for them to slowly move away, revealing the Sellbot Field Office logo. Joey begins talking about Sellbot Field Offices by making it very clear that these things that are about to be shown off are prototypes or early ideas and concepts, and not to be too upset if when they're finally implemented, they're shown to be not quite as described in the panel today. The first coverage is the reward you get from Sellbot Field Offices. It was announced that you'll be receiving the Remote Control. This is a new reward that will be introduced to cog battling that you earn by defeating a Sellbot Field Office. The premise is that you use it to take control of a cog during a battle. Each round you have to complete a micro game. The example shown here in the panel is a tug-of-war style game. The cog will also lose health each round that they are controlled, nerfing the ability to abuse the remote control. So, what can you do with this remote control? Details aren't exactly nailed down, but the thinking is that you can use it to control the cog to do various things, such as make the cog tell jokes that heal toons, make the cog damage other cogs, or possibly make the cog confuse the other cogs, stopping them for a round or two. Joey described this as a new way to develop battling so that there's purpose to even keep some cogs around, as you won't want to destroy the one that you're taking control of. All those things listed are described as purely ideas, however, so you'll really kind of have to just wait and see how this reward plays out once it's actually developed. The remote control is described as a short-term reward from Sellbot Field Offices. There is, however, a long-term reward also being introduced: laugh boosts. Here's how the concept they provided works. Once you complete your BossBot HQ suit in the Toontown Rewritten task line, you'll get new tasks from the HQ officers. It's about how the Toon Resistance has noticed your cog-busting ability and they want you to complete some sort of task for them. Completing this task will earn you a Toon Resistance rank in the Sellbot division, which you can rank up by defeating Sellbot Field Offices and possibly through other means. Once you reach a certain Toon Resistance rank in the Sellbot division, you'll gain access to the new Toon Resistance Hideout, an interesting new area they've conceptualized that lies, yes, that's right, under the manholes in Sellbot HQ, or maybe just under the manholes in general. I'm not sure, they weren't very specific. It's been 3 long years, but my very first Toontown mystery video has finally reached a point where it has new purpose. Shown here are more concepts, described as very, very early concepts that show off what this area may end up looking like, but will have to be further discussed when actually developed. So, changing gears, they begin to talk about the Toontown Rewritten Game Jam, an event that the TTR team held for their programmers in January. The goal was to design all new Trolley games throughout the month of January. They showed off the progress on these, including names and descriptions of the games. Spotlight Search, a dark maze game where one selected toon has a light and must find all the other toons. Doodle Roundup, a game where you must whistle at the doodles waddling in at the bottom of the screen and guide more of them into your own tunnel than your opponent does. Watering Game, a Turf Wars game concept where you control area by keeping flowers watered and controlled by you. Keep more under your control and you'll win. And lastly, and my favorite, Red Light Green Light, a game where you can walk, run, or sprint, but must stop moving when the cogs whip around. If you get caught, it's back to the beginning for you, and it was also described as an early concept. These were all in fact described as early concepts, with them all still needing all new graphics, GUIs, and more, but playable demos for some of them may be around soon at ToonFest, so keep an eye out for possible footage of those games. Another topic they covered was TTR live streams. Currently, the only output on updates they've been doing in the last few years, or probably since Toontown Rewritten was more or less a thing, was ToonFest, and they feel it isn't quite enough, announcing that they'll be looking to do more frequently quarterly development live streams, featuring backstage content and a live Q&A. And to wrap it all up, they showed off new progress on items from the Cold Caller Field Office minigame, showing a more Icy Lord Loud and Clear GUI, fun redesign of the timer and another GUI asset, a very nice looking thermostat model, an animation concept for the thermostat, floor textures, a new view of the ice game room, and one of my favorites, a very nicely done ice desk. They also showed off various icy props that will be included in the environment, books, and a really awesome snow globe model I adore, and more. But with all that concluded the Toontown Rewritten ToonFest 2019 main event. So my thoughts on this? I really enjoyed the concepts and ideas presented. The art for each thing was obviously top-notch, from the Resistance Hideout to the props being used in the Field Office Ice game. It all looked great. However, I agree with most players that we really do wish some of these things were further along in development than they are. The fact that the remote control, for example, didn't even have any possible imagery to show off as far as we know of, for even maybe like a GUI asset, tells me that there's going to be some serious time needed still on the development of field offices, as you can't have field offices without the reward. The Toon Resistance rank is also an interesting idea. You can think of it almost as akin to a cog disguise in a way. When you defeat bosses for your cog disguise, you level that cog disguise up. When defeating Sellbot Field Offices, you'll level your resistance rank up. I'm interested in seeing how they distribute the laugh points you'll earn for this as well. The speculation is that you'll earn a total of 3, bringing your laugh to 140 complete max, as speculated by their new laugh meter trading card they released at ToonFest, showing an obvious 140 laugh meter on the back. Do you get the laugh from 10 levels of Sellbot Division rank, or do you unlock the Resistance Hideout and do tasks for them to achieve it from there? We'll have to see as concepts get fleshed out, development gets underway, and the content is ultimately released. I would also like to say, specifically, no firm ETA was given on any subject. Everything was expressly described as needing a grain of salt basically, as everything was so early in development or even just conceptual stages. Fun ideas, great imagery, but just not too much tangible stuff to take away from it just yet. More time will be needed, which is unfortunately the main thing to take away from this. So what are your thoughts on this kind of content? What's your favorite thing you saw? What did you like about it? What did you maybe not like about it? Share them with me in the comments below. And I want to say again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time in my next video.